Upgrade was written and directed by Leigh Whannell and stars Logan Marshall Greene as a man living in the not too distant future who is attacked in a targeted mugging which causes the death of his wife and severe injury to him. He is left as a quadriplegic and his life is completely destroyed. But he gets repaired with an experimental system known as STEM, voiced by Maiden, which is implanted into the back of his spine, repairs his body, and accelerates everything about him. So he goes on a brutal revenge mission to try and track down and stop those that destroyed his life. I had no idea what this movie was going to be going in. I watched zero trailers. I had just seen the poster. I was aware that Logan Marshall Greene was in it and Leigh Whannell was writing and directing. His career has fascinated me, even though I'm not exactly a fan of the Insidious sequels or the Saw franchise in general. I didn't know this movie was set in the future where we have automated cars, we have drones flying around everywhere, we have futuristic looking buildings, and it places this character, Gray, in this world, and he is a very old school kind of person. He's a technophobe, really. He doesn't like the idea of all this automation that is driving the world. So when we see him become accelerated with this STEM technology in the back of his neck, it creates this great contrast, and that contrast carries along throughout the film, and it's a great theme, the idea of how far do we let technology control our lives. I was honestly really pleasantly surprised with Upgrade. Leigh Whannell writes and directs this film perfectly, almost. He creates this really solid story, the idea of a man going out to find those that killed his wife. That's a really well-worn story. It's one that I think a lot of audiences can grab onto, but then he layers in those ideas about technology in this futuristic world and some incredible action sequences and some body horror choices that were electrifying. And the through line of this, the thing that carries everything along and makes it feel right, is Logan Marshall Greene. He's an actor that I honestly think now people have skipped over. If you've seen him as a bit part in several movies, that is honestly kind of doing him a disservice because he's better than that. He showed me in this movie. He first has to play a quadriplegic man. He can't move. He has to embody that kind of character, a person who has his life completely shattered apart, doesn't want to live, and then in an instant turns into this awakened man who's being half controlled by a military-grade artificial intelligence. It's actually kind of funny and it's kind of horrifying at times, and it does so many different things, and Logan Marshall Greene does that perfectly. Another standout for me was Maiden as the voice of STEM. He has this kind of Douglas Rain as HAL 9000 quality about him. His voice is soothing, but it's still otherworldly. There's that tinge of something kind of dark going on behind the scenes. He can make you feel comfortable, but you know something is just not right. As I mentioned, there are some action sequences in here, and Leigh Whannell, in those moments, just gleefully goes into full Matrix meets body horror mode. We have such incredibly well choreographed and really, really well shot hand-to-hand combat scenes, which are some of the best that I've seen in a while. It feels grounded and feels realistic, even though the people that are involved in it have all these robotic things in their bodies that are helping them, do all these crazy, crazy things. There are a couple of flaws with Upgrade. I found that it has this incredibly brisk pace. It just moves so quickly, which is refreshing, but it can sometimes move a little too quickly, kind of washing over several things that we'd like to see a little bit more of, but it knows that, okay, we need to get to this point and this point and this point. So you just are really on board with the ride. And also, there's a lot of really over-the-top violence in this movie. It got an audible reaction from me, but I think that's going to be a little too much for other viewers. In the end, Upgrade was a really pleasant surprise. I had a lot of fun watching it. The characters I actually ended up caring deeply about. The ending was really dark and really powerful, even though the actual twist of it I did kind of see coming very early on in the movie. Logan Marshall Greene is just fantastic as this character. Leigh Whannell has made a firm mark as a talented director with this bloody, really electrifying thrill ride known as Upgrade, and I'll say that it is a So Upgrade, have you seen it? What did you think about it? What did you think about this review? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more Mr. Movies, click my channel link coming up right here, and thanks for watching.